What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Horseshoe. My name is Matt, and the Colts have officially announced their 53-man roster. So what we're going to do today is we're going to run through the entire roster. We're going to see if there's any surprises, and we'll see how I did on my predictions. So starting out with quarterback, the guys that made the roster are Jacob Eason, Sam Ehlinger, and Carson Wentz. Now, there's no surprises there. I did have Brett Hundley initially making my 53-man roster, but when I made that prediction, I did not realize you can't add a player you plan on bringing back at some point during the season on the IR until after the 53-man roster is announced. What you have to do is announce that that player is making the roster, wait 24 hours, and then place them on the IR. That way they can come back in 3 weeks if they're ready to go, or longer, depending on how long they're going to be out as we unfocus. So what I think they're going to do is they're going to wait 24 hours, put Sam Ehlinger on the IR, so he's out for 3 weeks, and then they're going to bring in another quarterback, whether it's Brett Hundley or another guy. That's what I believe they're going to do. Now, moving on to running back, again, no surprise. Nyheim Hines, Marlon Mack, Jonathan Taylor, Jordan Wilkins all make the roster. Those were the four I expected to make the roster. I know Deion Jackson had a really good game against the Lions. I really liked what I saw, but I didn't think it was enough to pass Jordan Wilkins, and I didn't think they were going to go with 5 running backs. I expected 4. So moving on to receiver, a little more surprised by this. We got Paris Campbell, Ashton Doolin, T.Y. Hilton, Desmond Patman, Zach Pascal, Michael Pittman Jr., and Mike Strawn. Now, I'm a little surprised that Ashton Doolin made the roster, even with Zach Pascal being put on the COVID-19 list. I thought that DeMichael Harris would have made it over Ashton Doolin because really, I think in the receiving side of things, DeMichael Harris provides more for you than Ashton Doolin. Ashton Doolin was more of that special teamer type of player, but we have guys that can do what Doolin can do. So I thought we would just see DeMichael Harris make it over Doolin. That's who I had anyway. If we were going to go with a 7th receiver, or if a receiver was going to be on IR or whatever, I thought it would have been DeMichael Harris. But hey, I was wrong about that. Now we move on to tight ends. Tight ends, we have Mo Alley-Cox, Jack Doyle, and Kylan Granson. Not surprised by this at all. Those are the 3 I had making the roster. I didn't think we were going to have 4 tight ends. I thought 3 would have been the most, just based off of who, was on the team at the time. So not surprised by this at all. Now moving on to the offensive line, no surprise here. Julian Davenport, Eric Fisher, Will Fries, Mark Linsky, Ryan Kelly, Quentin Nelson, Danny Pinter, Matt Pryor, Chris Reed, Braden Smith. No surprises there. The only guy that I had not making the 53-man roster that is on this list is Matt Pryor, and that's because we traded for Matt Pryor earlier today. Now, I know there's a lot of people complaining about that, saying he's terrible, but guys, he's not starting. He's just depth. That's all it is. So if one of our guys goes down, he can come in and step up for them. He has some experience, not a whole lot. He's not that great, to be honest. He wasn't that great in Philadelphia. But hey, it's a depth piece. Maybe he'll fit here. Maybe he won't. We'll find out if he's going to be used. But I don't see him being used anytime soon, unless an injury happens. So there's our offensive line. Going to defensive line now. Ben Banigou, DeForest Buckner, Taekwon Lewis, Al-Qadim Muhammad, Kwity Paye, Isaac Rochelle, Taylor Stallworth, Grover Stewart, Kamoka Toure, Chris Williams, and Antoine Woods. Didn't have Antoine or Chris Williams making the roster when I was doing my prediction, but everybody else was pretty much spot on. No surprises here at all. Would have been shocked if Isaac Rochelle was cut. I know some people were surprised that he actually made the roster, but to me, I liked what I saw from Rochelle a lot. I liked a lot of what I saw, so not surprised that he made the roster, at least to me anyway. Very happy with who we have at the defensive line. Now moving on to linebackers, we have Matthew Adams, Zaire Franklin, Jordan Glasgow, Darius Leonard, Bobby Okereke, and EJ Speed making the roster. Very sad that Isaiah Kafuzi did not make the roster. To me, it's a surprise because I thought he did more than enough to make the roster, but I guess as my dogs run around upstairs, I guess the Colts didn't think he did enough. Hopefully he can be brought in as a practice squad player because I think he would be a very good addition to this team, but that's just me. Now moving on to the defensive backs, we have Julian Blackman, TJ Carey, Andre Shashari, Kenny Moore, Xavier Rhodes, Isaiah Rogers, Marvell Tell, Rockison, and Kari Willis. Now, not a lot of surprises here either. Very happy to see Shashari make the roster. I know a lot of people were really hoping he would make the roster, and he did make the roster. So very happy to see him make it. Marvell Tell, I guess, would be the only other kind of surprise as far as whoever made the roster. I actually had him not making the roster because I didn't think he did enough to make the roster, but here he is. He made the roster. And then as far as everybody else, it's kind of who we expected to make the roster. No surprises there. And then going to special teams, we have Rodrigo Blankenship, Luke Rhodes, and Rigoberto Sanchez. Again, no surprises there at all. What we all expected. Would have been very surprised if either one of them would have been released. And there you guys have it. That's the 53-man roster for you guys as it stands. Obviously, there could be changes happening throughout the next few weeks. The Colts could see somebody that was cut by another team and be like, okay, they provide something that we like. Let's bring them in, and then they would unfortunately have to cut another player. But as of right now, these are the players that we will see on this team throughout the season. So thank you all for watching. If you're new, I would greatly appreciate it if you would click that subscribe button. Also, click the bell icon so you're notified whenever a video goes up, as well as when we go live on here very soon. In fact, within the next 2 hours, we're going to be having a live stream here talking about all the news that's going on right now. We'll kind of go over some of the big surprises as far as who was cut. We'll, talk about who we think is going to win each division in the NFL. So make sure you tune in for that live stream. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you like this video, smack that like button and let me know in the comments below, who are you surprised to see get released by the Colts? So thank you very much for watching. I've been Matt, Bleed Blue, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure you watch one of these other 2 videos. They're cool. Also, if you're new, please click the subscribe button as well as the bell icon. I greatly appreciate your support.